A very warm welcome to all the students. My name is Dr. Supriya Gautam, and today I am going to teach entrepreneurship. This is a subject in PGDM second semester, and today we are going to learn about the theories of entrepreneurship and characteristics of an entrepreneur and the process of entrepreneurs. In the first unit, we are going to cover up the topics that these are the mentioned topics. First of all, definition of entrepreneur, internal and external factors, what are the functions, entrepreneurial motivation and barriers, classifications, theories, concepts, development of entrepreneurship culture, stages in entrepreneurial process. So before I start or proceed to the concept, to the theoretical aspect, first of all, let us take a quick look about the successful entrepreneur in the worldwide, or we can say in the whole universe. These are the pictures of successful entrepreneurs. We can see there is a Mark Zuckerberg, Steve Jobs, Tata Ratan, Biocon, Dhirubhai Ambani. These are the successful entrepreneurs' pictures. They have started their own companies with their own investment, and now they are ruling the world like a boss. They are earning profit, they are generating jobs, they are contributing to the economy. So there is a something ingredient which is in the entrepreneurship. There is something in entrepreneurship that people are actually motivated or focused towards it. Why? Because it is not only about the generating the money or making the profit, it is also about to live up the dreams. Whatever the problems has been faced by these entrepreneurs, whatever the problems, they wanted to make their name in the society or to earn profit, or they wanted to introduce something which they wanted ki nobody has, like Facebook. Facebook is the entirely new concept. It is a social networking site. Earlier to the Facebook, nobody has ever imagined that one can connect, one can make friends with something on the social media. But Mark Zuckerberg has the idea of that, and he came up, he knew that a person is living with the telephone or phone with 24 hours. So why he cannot live with this idea that one can connect or generate or make more and more friends. So these are some examples of the successful entrepreneurs, photos of entrepreneurs. I know we all have known the story behind it. I know what the product or services they are producing in the world or in the market, we all know. But in the context of the economy, why entrepreneurs is important, why we as a student, why we are studying, this is more important. So before proceeding this, let's go for the theoretical aspect. First of all, what is an entrepreneur? To know the meaning or to know the person who is an entrepreneur, what he does, so we can go simply by the one who creates a new business in the face of risk and uncertainty for the purpose of achieving profit and growth by identifying and assembling the necessary resources to capitalize on them. So there are three things that we can see that one create a new business. So one has to create a new business. New business isn't term about the innovativeness in the market, innovativeness in the product, innovativeness in the service, innovativeness in the technology, whatever the newness and he or she may create, that's called the new business. In the face of risk and uncertainty, there is always risk and uncertainty to start a business. Why? Because you have to go for a lot of things. Your idea cannot be approved by the society. Your product cannot be approved by the society. Right? Your things can be denied by the public. Or if you are raising the fund, you can have the problem, because starting a new business is a tough task. So these are the risk and uncertainty. Also, nobody has said to you that if you are starting a new business, your business is going to be profitable. There are a lot of entrepreneurs who have failed, who have seen the losses. Their business are not going well. So these are the risk and uncertainty which is always and always involved with the business. And then growth by identifying and assembling the necessary resources to capitalize on them. So whatever the resources are not much in the society. So whatever the resources are available, it has to be exploited by the entrepreneurs, and the profit has to be maintained by this only. For example, we can say the 4G spectrum, the 4G phone. The resources are in limited quantity. Only 4 or 5 players are there. We can see the we can see the Airtel, we can see the Jio, we can see the Idea, we can see the Vodafone. These 4 players are in the market, and they are what? They are exploiting the resources and they are making more and more profit. Some of the company is in top. Say Jio is in the top. Why it is in the top? Because they are not only focusing on the generating profit, they have strong market capacity, they have strong advertisement capacity, they are building their market, they are tapping the market which are not tapped earlier, they are going for the rural areas. So these are something that they are generating the profit. So an entrepreneur goes all by that. He used to take the risk, he used to create the new new business, and he used to take the risk and uncertainty. After that, he take the necessary resources, and by them it used to be capitalized. So some of the concept of entrepreneurs, like I have said, first of all, he is a risk bearer, organizer, and innovator. So let's go to the deep of what is a risk bearer. Creating a new business is not a easy task. You have to deal with the risk, and the risk is not only for the capital aspect, that you have not ample amount of capital or not ample amount of money, but also you have lot of things like taste and preference of consumers. Earlier, I'll give you the example of that earlier Indians are supposed to eat in their homes or in the hotels. There is no concept of ordering food online, but Zomato has come, Swiggy has come to the market, and they have given the concept that to order the food. So this is a task of risk bearing. They have set the slogan of no cooking December. If you remember that, they have said no cooking December. Means कि आपको दिसंबर में खाना नहीं बनाना है, and they have proposed that you should order food from the app online. Lot of people, conventional people, who believe that India is a place where family used to gather, sit together, eat together. This is the culture of our family. So to motivate from that culture is also a risk bearing task, because the taste, the preferences has been changed. But somehow the new generation is adopting this idea. The working people are adopting this idea, and they are ordering food online. So this is the kind of a risk bearing task. Not only this, we can also say that if your idea, you thought that you have to establish a business, but you are not getting the ample amount of money or capital, this is also a risk bearing. And if you have invested the amount of money into your business, and in next process you are not earning the profit for 1 year or 2 years or 2 months, you are not, the company or the business is not going to go ahead. So this is kind of the risk bearer. Also the societal pressure. A lot of people will convince you that starting a business is not a good idea. Starting a business is not a good idea, because you have to do the business, you have to do the job, which is 9 to 5. You will get the amount of a salary. It will be more establishment. There is no risk, there is no pain. You have to do your work. So there is a societal pressure also, So going beyond that is actually helping a businessman to take the risk. Next is organizer. We know that organizing things means to assemble the things, to putting them into order, and then using for the profit purpose. So an entrepreneur has to go for 5 M's like men, machine, material, money, and method. The 5 M's has to be organized by whom? by the entrepreneur. He has to go for search of the human resources, the staff he wanted to, the qualified staff he wanted to search. He will organize that. He will have to organize the money also. He will have to organize the method, which technologies he or she is going to use that. Now is the time when majority of the companies are going online and they are focusing on click and brick method. So these are the things that have to be organized by the entrepreneur. After that, we can say the materials, where to purchase the materials, where to purchase the raw materials, and from where to get the supplied materials and where to supply it. These are the process that has to be organized by the whom? Entrepreneurs. And then machines, which machines has to be used, which machines has to be taken to the company for the production, that is also going to be taken by the organizer. And who is organizing that? The entrepreneur. So these are the little things that I have said that the entrepreneur is organizing for his company, for starting this business, and not for starting his business, for running the business for a longer period of time. He has to organize these things. Next is the innovator. Innovator is the main crux of an entrepreneur. We cannot say an entrepreneur cannot be, if he or she has not a new idea or new technology, new market, then he or she cannot survive in the market. We have seen a lot of products in the market which are innovative in their own way. I will take the example of Dermicool powder. Dermicool powder has said that चुभती जलती गर्मी आए और ठंडियों से राहत पाए, और उन्होंने क्या दिखाया, आपको एक एग्जाम्पल में दिखाया, आइस के छोटे छोटे टुकड़े. India is a place where the heat is something very high. Every person in the समर सीजन दे आर फेसिंग द इचिंग प्रॉब्लम. सो उन्होंने कुछ इस तरह का आइडिया दिया कि जो हमारा रेगुलर टैल्कम पाउडर था उसको क्या किया उन्होंने, एकदम से साइड में करके हमने डर्मिकूल पाउडर को यूज़ करना शुरू कर दिया. इससे पहले भी व्हेन द हैंड वॉश लाइफ बॉय हैज़ इंट्रोड्यूस्ड द हैंड वॉश इन द मार्केट, वी इंडियंस आर ओनली एंड ओनली कन्विंस्ड that washing the hand with the soap is easy, but they have said no, washing the hand with the hand wash is something different, because they are not as harmful, they are not as harmful, they are not as hard to your hand. And somehow Indians have shifted their way to the hand wash. So this is kind of innovativeness. Not only this, if you see, a lot of phones, smartphones are coming into the market each and every day, I can say. So these phones you are going to purchase, there is something new. We can see that we have, first of all, camera, then there is a back camera, then there is a front camera, then there is a rear view camera, then there is a pop-up camera. Now we have 3 camera, then there has a flashlight. So this is the innovation in the product. And these innovations are actually attracting the customers. They are attracting the customers that yes, I should have to purchase this product. Why? Because there is an innovation. I have said in the product kind of a thing. I'll tell you there is a innovativeness in services also. For example, online shopping is the biggest example of innovativeness. Flipkart has introduced themselves in the late 20s, and what has the idea that we Indians are not convinced. We have the tendency to go to the market and purchase the product by seeing, by touching, by seeing the visibility of the product. But by ordering online without seeing, just because we have seen a photo of that, a virtual reflection of the product, and we are ordering, is something a very innovativeness thing. But most of the people have not convinced with the idea that whether the product will be good or not. But nowadays we can see the majority of the people are focusing, are having for the purchasing of the product, they are going to the online shopping. Because they knew that this is economically friendly also, because we get lot of discounts, we get time friendly also. We don't have to go to the market, we just sit in our room and we can search it on Google or on Ford. So this is very convenient kind of a marketing. But this is the innovativeness. And by innovativeness, an entrepreneur shift the customer conventional tendency into a new tendency, right? Coming from the money, actual money, to the plastic money is also innovativeness by all the smart card, MasterCards, Visa cards, the ATMs that we are using. This is also a shiftness. There is also a tendency to move towards newness. So this is also very needed by the entrepreneur to be an innovator by their own terms. So now next we are going to take a quick look on the definitions given by the renowned lecturers. First of all, we'll see the Schumpeter's definition of entrepreneurs. Schumpeter has studied about lot of entrepreneur, and he has said that an entrepreneur can only and only survive when he has the innovativeness in 4 things. First of all, in the market, in the product, in the services, and in the technology. When he has these kind of innovativeness, then only the entrepreneur can survive in the market. Like I have said that an entrepreneur need to be innovator. If he is innovativeness in their nature, the product or service is going to be taken by the customer preferentially. Next one is Drucker's view on entrepreneur. Drucker has said that innovation is a specific tool of entrepreneur. This means by which they exploit changes as an opportunity for different business or a different service. So everybody is saying about the innovativeness, because I said earlier that by taking the innovativeness in the market, in the product, in the service, in the technology, in the process, an entrepreneur can stand to the next level, to the level where nobody has imagined. You know, whatever the product, whatever the services we are using, let's say Wikipedia. Earlier we don't know about the Wikipedia. We have to go, whatever thing we wanted to know about, we have to visit the library. You know, student has to visit the library, parent has to, but the library access is not possible everywhere and 24/7. But Wikipedia is a thing that is accessible for 24/7. Right? So 24/7 it is accessible. So this is the thing that made Wikipedia into something different way, and everybody is going through the Wikipedia. If they wanted to gain the knowledge, they are going. Likewise, Google browser, we can see with that Google has started as a simple searching browser, and now they have a lot of options. We can go through the mail, we can go through the images, we can access on the Google browser itself. We can go for the Google Maps, Google Images, Google Directions, Google Books. So there are a lot of options. So it's like making us convenient, customers convenient. Also they are more innovativeness. So why the other things like Safari and the other browser, Opera and Internet Explorer, Mozilla, Firefox, they are not surviving in the market because of this, because Google has created not only the browser, also they have started a lot of add-on things which are actually very convenient to the customers. With a single click, a customer can go, a consumer can go and can search a lot of things. So these are the innovativeness that an entrepreneur possesses in his characteristics, and that is the reason that everybody is going through the new product and new market. Now we can see the characteristics of entrepreneur to be like everybody, like an old saying that a leader is born not made. A leader is born not made. Likewise, an entrepreneur, there are certain characteristics which is needed. There are certain characteristics which is a need for them to grow in the market, to have the courage. Like I said, being an entrepreneur, you have to be a risk bearer. A person who is not a risk bearer, or a person has not that kind of a attitude to facing the risk, he or she is not going to start his or her business. So these are the certain characteristics which we are going to talk about. First of all, desire for responsibility. This is actually a basic thing that one can possess. You know, starting a new thing is very easy, but you know, to take it responsibly is a main and different task. So if we talk about the characteristics of an entrepreneur, we can say that desire for responsibility. A person who has started his business. He has indulged, he has invested a lot of things. For example, money, for his time, a lot of people, efforts, his idea. And if he or she is not getting it in a responsible way for a longer period of time, that company is not going to survive. The first foremost characteristic should be a desire for responsibility. After that, preference for moderate risk. Okay, I said that there is a risk and uncertainty, but he should go for the moderate risk, not go for the, like, we have to choose, not every time you have to choose either yes, either no, you have to go for the moderate, because you have to go for a longer period of time. The quick decisions is not preferred. You have to think rationally and wisely. After that, confidence in their ability to succeed. The confidence is a part of a human characteristic which should be innate and which should be possessed by every human being. If you are not confident, I'm sorry, you are not going to stand in your own place. So you have to be a very confident by nature, by the things going around. If you are not confident, you are always shivering, then it is not going to help you out. Next, desire for immediate feedback. Only and only an entrepreneur can be successful if he is going to take the feedback of the persons, customers, suppliers, or the people involved in the business. If somebody is giving the feedback and that entrepreneur is not going to take it as a seriously, then that company is not going to survive. For example, Nokia. I'll take the example of Nokia. Nokia has started his business in a very beautiful way, and it has a huge customer base and a great market share. But afterwards, when the introduction of smartphone arrived in the market, they have some kind of an adamant attitude of the production or whatever, that they are stick to the phones only. So this is the thing that has made them not competing in the market. And then Samsung has lead the market, and they have a great market share because they have the great innovativeness technology in their smartphones, and they are stick into their multimedia regular phones. So these are the things that the customer, the feedback is very necessary. After that, future orientation. One always have to be a future oriented. Tesla is a greatest example. They have made a lot of products. They have made a lot of services. PayPal is the example, which is introduced in the early 90s, where nobody has imagined that there is a money transaction, online money transaction, but the Tesla company, Elon Musk, has introduced it by the knowing that in the earlier future, the customers are going to be shifting towards the plastic money. So this is going to be a very great move. After that, skilled at organizing. He should be a great organizer. Whatever the need, whatever the company is going to ask for or needing for, he has to organize, and he has to be very skilled in that. Like if a company is going for the graphic designer, then he should be a very skilled. He should be a great graphic designer, that then only the company can be survived. After that, value achievement over money. The only thing that today's market is surviving, that whatever the value or add-on services you are giving to the customer, those companies are going to survive in the market. The value added services, the value achievement, if an entrepreneur has achieved all this, then the company is going to survive. Not only always the entrepreneur should be focused on the purchasing or earning the money or generating the profit, but he should have to think about how to achieve the value. Now we can see this Venn diagram, in which I have there are skill sets which an entrepreneur possessed. First of all, entrepreneurship skills, then management skills and technical skills. These three veins are there. We can go thoroughly and we can take the one by one, we can see that what it is about. So in this Venn diagram we can see that there are 3 skill sets which has to be present in an entrepreneur, then only he or she can survive in the market. So first of all, go for the entrepreneurship skill. Like I said, that entrepreneur is being to create the profit, to create the profit, market, and to take the risk, to be an innovativeness. So these are some the innate skills that we can have, like interdiscipline. Inner discipline. He or she has to be very disciplined. Whatever the concept or the things going around in the mind or in the physical appearance or whatever, he or she should implement that only. He should be very disciplined. After that, ability to take risk, innovative and change oriented. These things I have told you earlier. These are the things that comes into the entrepreneurship skills. Now we'll talk about this skills, that is management skill, which is very important, because an entrepreneur is not an entrepreneur, he is also a manager for the company. Why manager? Because these are the skills which is possessed by a manager. First of all, the planning should be done by the entrepreneur. Planning is about the project, what business he or she is used to start, what is the planning for that, how he or she is going to take the money, in which market they are going to produce the product, what are their customers. So these are the plannings that has to be done by the entrepreneur. Now next is decision making. He should be capable of making the decision, rational decision. Whatever the company wants, the business wants, he or she should be able for that. Next one is the motivation. There is always inner drive, motivation, that somebody is forcing you to go for it, to have this. So this is the thing that motivation is going to help the entrepreneur in a very positive way. If he is not motivated, I'm sorry, he is not going to survive in the market. Next, the marketing concept or marketing terms or the knowledge of marketing also. Where to target, what is the position in the eyes of the customer, right? What are the segmentation that the marketer or the entrepreneur is doing for the customers, for the product, that has to be. What is the product? How is there the planning? What is the price? These are the knowledge of these are the simple things that is involved in the marketing. And an entrepreneur need to know this. After that, finance. I can say that finance is the lifeblood of a business. Finance is the lifeblood of a business. A business cannot survive without a finance. So an entrepreneur has to generate money or finance for investing in the business, or you can say the capital investment. The first and foremost part of a business, it comes under the skills under management skills. Now the technical skills also, some of the technical skills are operations specific to industry. If an entrepreneur is going to start a technical oriented or a software based company, then he or she should be knowledge of that only. If an entrepreneur is going for some artistic or something related to the culture, crafts, handicraft, then he or she should be knowledge of that artistic crafts and culture. Otherwise, he is not going to understand it, he or she is not going to sell or present in the market. Next is the communication is also very important. Communication not only come with the inner communication like one-to-one, also how you are communicating your product, your idea to the customers. Next is R&D, which is an ongoing process. If a company is wanted to excel in the market, the research and development is the ongoing process, and it has to be done by year wise or in a going process, so that the new thing, the innovativeness thing can come into the market. Some of the functions that I have told you earlier, these also come under the functions: innovations, risk taking, organization building, absorb uncertainty, frame the challenge, build commitment. These are the functions that an entrepreneur possessed. Some of the traits, the characteristics that I have told you, some of the traits are also there, like he should be self-confident, optimistic, able to take calculated risk, respond positively to changes, flexible and able to adapt, knowledge of markets, able to get along well with others, and independent minded. These are the traits which is needed for the entrepreneurs. If a person is not optimistic, is a pessimist, there is a negative thought, continuous negative thought coming into his mind. So he has to be very optimistic. Knowledge of the market is also very important, with where you are going to present or sell your product, and you are not knowing the market, then it is absolutely a foolish thing for an entrepreneur. The knowledge of market is also equally important. These are and traits like he should be energetic, diligent, creative, need to achieve, dynamic leader, take initiatives, resource and preserving, perspective with foresightedness, matlab he should have the foresightedness. Some of the personal trait and characteristics of entrepreneur, which I have depicted with the help of this diagram, that who is the entrepreneur's internal locus of control. There should be an internal locus of control, that an entrepreneur know about what is going around, and he or she takes the decision very wisely. Next is that the level of energy should be always and always high. He should not be demotivated or low energy, because he is also acting as a leader. There are followers who are following the main business maker. So he should be a very high level energy. Next one is the self-confidence should be there. Tolerance for ambiguity. What is the ambiguous things going in the market around, or in the personal life or thing? There should be a tolerance, because you have to deal a lot with the negativity, and if you have not the capability of tolerating, then the mind is taken only with this only. So these things has to be there. Self-reliance and desire for independence. An entrepreneur can only be entrepreneur if he wanted to be an independent. Otherwise, he can go with the job also. He can work for some other company. But the idea of independent is going to help him. So the next point is high need for achievement. Then entrepreneur has to be willing, or has to be that quality to achieve something on a very top level. If he is not that much focused, and the achievement for that is not that important or high, he is not going to survive in the market. So these are the traits that has to be possessed in an entrepreneur. Next one is the flexibility. Flexibility is why? Because the environment of the market is very changing, is very shifting. If the entrepreneur is adamant by nature or by his views, then he is not going to survive in the market. So there need to be flexible in his approach. Next one is the passion and action orientation. The work what he is doing should be done in a passion way. The passion need to be there. The passion has to be there. If the passion is there, then he is going to give or deliver whatever he has perceived or think in his mind as a business, or as a product, or as a service. So these are some traits that we have discussed. So for today's we are finishing with the personality traits, characteristics of entrepreneurs. I hope you have understood all the concept in a very refined way, and in next class we will proceed with the entrepreneur motivation and some other topics. For that, thank you so much.